Hey there. So I hope this video finds you well. I've put this video together because I was in the situation that you might be in as you're watching this. I first got into the world of manifestation and law of attraction, all this sort of subconscious reprogramming to heal myself. And I know that the world of healing and manifestation and law of attraction can get quite complicated. So what I wanted to do is make this video and explain the process that I use to heal myself from a brain injury and get back to full function. And in doing so, hopefully you find some solace in it and you feel like, okay, this is actually possible. All right. The reason I got into this is because, as I said, I had a head injury at the late stages of 2018. This was playing my sport at the time, rugby. I had successive concussions and my life was in a real dire state. So I lost my business at the time. The relationship I was in for 7 years ended at the same time too. And everything started to fall down. I couldn't drive. I couldn't socialize. I was just in a complete mess. And in this sort of desperation, I turned to the world of manifestation that you might be looking into too, right? The world of transformation. And you look at Neville Goddard's work, Joe Dispenza's work, whoever it is in this world, you're trying to sort of piece things together because you're in a pretty desperate state, like I was. So here's what you can do, okay? And I've made the content that I want to share quite general to begin with, but healing is it's an area of the manifestation that's very close to my heart because I know how painful it is. And I love seeing people break through this sort of, it's like a stress, and it exhausts you, makes you so tired, makes you just feel like, will I ever get my life back? Will I ever feel like me again? And it's a constant battle, which is almost a silent battle that you have to deal with every single day. So the process that I used, let's get into that because I know that's why you've clicked this video. And I don't want to delay any longer like most videos tend to do. The process I used, I became really familiar, and I liked Joe Dispenza's work and also a bit of the work of Greg Braden and Fred Dodson and some others, and I sort of started to piece this stuff together. And the main message that I was attracted to, which I was drawn to, was using the power of your heart and your mind together, right? Heart and brain coherence. I was obsessed with this topic. And I even became a heart math practitioner, what we know, 3 years ago, just to kind of get a basic understanding. But I was already doing this stuff myself anyway. And I was fascinated with the idea that when you synchronize your brain and your heart together, you create this almost powerful mechanism for healing where you can penetrate your subconscious, right? You are able to imprint what you are thinking and what you are feeling. And when you add those two together, there is this powerful transformation that happens, which I'll talk about in other videos. But getting to the point where you might be thinking, okay, well, how is this going to work for me? What I can suggest, and because this was hard for me to do initially, is that when I was in the painful symptoms, right, when I was dealing with these symptoms every single day, it's very hard to feel your future as real. And that is the concept that all this manifestation sort of work talks about, right? You need to feel your situation is already happening right now in that moment. And if you do that continuously, things will start to change. So this process is quite difficult when you are in a lot of pain, if you're struggling with a chronic condition or illness. Whatever it is that you're trying to heal yourself from, it can take over your mind, right? And it is just constant thoughts, and then your 3D world is almost reflecting everything back to you. Whenever you move, if you feel pain or you feel vertigo or you feel sick, it's constantly reinforcing it. So it can feel quite tricky in a sense of healing because you are constantly getting feedback from your environment to tell you that you're not healed. Right? If you're trying to manifest money, or if you're trying to create a transformation in your financial situation, and even with a partner, there can feel like there is going to be some lag in terms of the circumstances working out for you, which you kind of get okay with. Most people are okay with that. They know things need to play out. But with healing, you're getting constant feedback all the time because it's in your body that things aren't working out, right? So you've got to be clever here. And this is the process that you can use. So write this down, okay? And when I first got into Joe Dispenza's work, I found this very difficult to understand. And I think he used to always, the way he explains it for me was too complicated. I wanted something simple to be like, okay, how do I get into actually feeling it? Because right now, I don't feel very good. So how can I get into a way of feeling that makes me actually feel like I am already healed? This is what you can do. You can simply write down the affirmation, I am healed, right? Or you can write down a slightly longer version, which might feel more complete, which is, I am permanently healed. Because I know with healing, there's often a sense of, will it come back, right? What happens if I'm healed for like a couple of days, but then I might have all these old subconscious thoughts and programs that make me feel like I'm not healed, and then I'll revert back to who I was. So the I am permanently healed, okay? Write that down. Once you've written that down, you can ask yourself, you can also write this down as a question, is what does that look like for me? And then list all the things that would have to happen in your life that you would have to experience to determine and to describe yourself as permanently healed. Okay? So, and it's difficult with healing yourself and health related transformation, because a lot of the time we think of it in a negative polarization, which is, I just don't want to be in pain. I just don't want to be sick. But we have to positively polarize this, because if you were permanently healed, you wouldn't be thinking that I'm walking without pain. This would be a new you that was always pain free, right? So just list, right? What would have to happen? Or what would this look like for me to be permanently healed? So for example, it could be that I'm cycling every weekend, right? Because you're a keen cyclist. It could be that I'm working out in the gym 3 times a week. It could be that I am driving, right? Whatever it is for you, list as many things that come up for you that would have to happen for you to be confident in yourself to say, I am permanently healed. And once you've done that, go through the list and just sit with each one and notice what feeling comes up. And if nothing comes up straight away, that's fine. But what you'll notice, you're now making it real. You're now making the association with in order for me to feel permanently healed, these are the experiences that have to happen for me to believe it to be true. But what you'll notice if you take some time out and you sit with these is that there will be an associated feeling with each one of these experiences that you have within your life, okay, that you want to happen. So for example, if it's cycling, right, because you do it in this order and you're not trying to fake the affirmation of I am permanently healed. It's like, no, I am permanently healed. I know what that looks like. That is me cycling. And you can just get into yourself cycling. You don't have to feel, oh, I'm completely healed. It's like you just picture yourself on that bike and feel what it feels like to be cycling, right? To be cycling as like the version of you that doesn't have to think about being healed. It's just enjoy cycling and feel what it's like if you are someone who's not been able to do that. But it's applicable to anything that you want to experience in your life. So it could be taking your dog out for a walk, right? It could be getting back into work. So it could be you thinking about being within your day, working on something that you love and coming home. And there is no thought about symptoms or whatever. It's just you are there. You see, so this is where the way I like this and how this works is that you're giving yourself circumstances that have to happen for you to feel like you are healed. And you can do that because in those circumstances, you can feel them as real. And then as you're feeling them, that is proving to yourself that you are already healed. Okay? So you've got to get into this and spend some time with these. And what you'll find is that you can anchor the statement of I am permanently healed. So then every time you say this, if you do this work and you keep consistently feeling all these experiences, every time you bring up the statement in your mind, I am permanently healed, you'll notice that these situations come up naturally for you and you can meditate on them. You can spend time on them. You can feel them. And this will give you a sense of becoming the new person, right? Stepping into the new version of reality where you are permanently healed. You are now living your life, right? You're not in the past. You are now experiencing the life that you've wanted to live for a long time, and you've met these circumstances. So this was very powerful for me. And it's that mind, right? Where the mind is building the picture, which is giving you, okay, this is the circumstance that has to happen for me to feel like I'm healed. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to feel it with my heart. So that is the mind and the heart coherence. And it's just sometimes what we need. I don't know about you, but you just need a sort of different way of looking at something. And for all of the amazing work that people like Greg Braden and Joe Dispenza and Bruce Lipton and so many other people that do, sometimes there's, in my view, an overcomplication of getting to the end of, okay, well, what do I do? How do I get to that feeling? Because that's all you need to do, is get into knowing how to feel these experiences as if they've already happened, okay? Something to be careful with this, as I've said, when it's related to healing and pain and sickness, because can be quite symptom heavy, is that you don't want the circumstances that you're putting, as I mentioned, just to reinforce this though, you don't want the symptoms to be being pain-free, not feeling sick, not being dizzy, because that doesn't give you a picture of you being healed. It's just thinking about not having that symptom, which is then drawing you back into thinking about the symptom, okay? We want to move past this so you become a new version of you, stepping into the new version of you that is already experiencing this life where they are way past having to worry about healing, okay? So I hope this was helpful. It was hugely helpful for me to be able to get in and embody the feelings and just like, I don't know if you found this difficult, but there's a lot of talk about gratitude and feeling gratitude. And something I must say is that that is very difficult to do, especially if you are struggling with symptoms, but this process should make it far more simple and more enjoyable. So remember, you can write down your statement at the start, the I am permanently healed, and then ask yourself the question, what does this look like? For me to be permanently healed, what would have to be happening in my life? What situations would I be in? Okay? And then go into each one of those situations and go in and feel them. And that's proving to you that's what has to happen. But you're already feeling it now, which proves it's possible. And you just got to keep doing the work and doing the work. And yeah, you might have to let some stuff go and build some sort of self-love and those stronger core beliefs. But this is a very powerful way to heal yourself and at least build the momentum. And then it's up to you to carry on and continue doing it. Because that's the first bit. That's breaking through that glass ceiling where you suddenly start to feel, as in, okay, I can actually feel this version of me who is doing this stuff. I know that that version of me would be healed if they were doing them. Okay, that's a long way of saying it. So I really hope this helps. And I wanted to just make this a bit more personable around healing, because as I said, it's a topic that's very close to my heart. So if this was helpful for you, please let me know in the comments below. I would very much appreciate it. I can continue to make content like this to help you if you're in that situation. Thanks so much for your time. Take care. Speak to you soon.